question of the day. Da Vinci, why do you trust so much ETH if it is centralized and have unlimited supply? That is a beautiful, beautiful question. Although Ethereum is centralized, there is no way for Ethereum to exist in a decentralized format. Why is that? Completely decentralized. It's partially decentralized, but it's not completely. And why is that? Well, because it is a complex programming environment which can have issues that no one has thought about along the line, in the future. And because of that, there needs to be a way for you to make changes and upgrade the software and completely upgrade everybody across the board, and then breaking change software. Meaning the old software would stop working and the new one will start. Only the new one will work. Thus, you can effectively say, well, that over there 2 years ago, we don't like what happened over there. You could actually change that, do an upgrade, do a worldwide upgrade, stating that, hey, what happened 2 years ago, null and void, and all the transactions between that are also null and void up to this point. That is possible, and that could be hard-coded in the software. And so that's the problem, right? However, watch what happens if, let's pretend an event 2 years ago has massive trees of valuation as money just moves around all over and then touches everywhere and affects everybody. And they go, okay, we don't like what happened 2 years ago. Well, we have two options. Since everybody has touched it, we can either leave it alone, or we make a change and wipe out everybody who had access to that money. And then that would be catastrophic to all applications and code, as the money was spread out across everybody. You're like, holy shoot, doesn't that make that completely decentralized? Because now they can't stop it. No, they can't stop it because of, depending on how the transaction occurred and how it disseminated the money across the world. So, effectively, and by design, you can create a system where everybody can get screwed, and the only way to fix it is you add more currency. That's my real issue with Ethereum. And that's just the way it is. It just has to exist that way because of its complex design. Now, with that said, there is something called ossification. Ossification is basically where code becomes so entrenched and so fixed that no one wants to make a change because of, hey, you know what, I'm built around my whole world around these functions and how they work and all that kind of stuff, and there's no way to change it, and it works pretty solid, and it can't really be upgraded. You can't upgrade it anymore because of the ossification, because everybody wants it to work the same way all the time. And it does work, and there's no flaws over a long period of time, like 50 plus years. I would say long before I'm dead. Then you could probably take the code, right, code base of Ethereum, and place it into a proof of work hard-coded system, because there's enough eyeballs that already looked at it and tried to hack it and have failed. And then you know that it's ossified and not going to break on you. That's probably the only way you can make it a decentralized system completely that can't change. So you could obviously do upgrades to the code, the opcodes and all that kind of stuff, but you couldn't really change the core interface because of backwards compatibility. And so This is why I like ETH so much, because eventually it will be useful. It will get to a point where we can actually ossificate the system, where there is no way to make changes. And effectively, even though it might not be decentralized, it's decentralized in effect through its contracts, complex contracts that cannot be just, okay, well, we'll just roll back everything. That can't happen. And that's why I'm a support of Ethereum. Eventually down the line, it's going to do that. It's going to ossify, make it impossible. More, not decentralized again. It just makes it impossible for centralized authorities to go, we don't like what happened there, change it. Right? Yeah, it'll get more and more impossible for that to happen over time. But right now, it's still possible.